they call you, yeah, he's the new Messiah or something. I mean, that must scare the shit out of you if they call you stuff like that.
We don't take these shit. This
or the Mojos are the apostles or something.
I think like maybe like 2 years ago it was really scary. Like the first time you heard it, it was like whoa.
And everybody started quoting that quote. It's the Rolling Stones of Mexico, and people use words so carelessly. It's like comparing. There's that comparison to Janis Joplin over and over again, and you know, and sometimes I listen to Janis and I go like, what the fuck? She must be rolling in her grave. You know, I'm not 1,000th of the singer she was, and it's like people need to you know, everybody does their job, I guess.
Every third story about you is like, yeah, and then she said.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I get that a lot. And everybody asks, don't you get upset that people think you're a girl at first? Whatever, man. It's music, you know. All the shit around, really, we couldn't care less.
Coming back to Janis Joplin, you know that one day you have to sing Cry Baby or something.
Will never happen. Will never happen. Especially Janis Joplin. You know, if I do a cover, I would do something that nobody expects. I would sing Johnny Cash, you know, Leonard Cohen, somebody with a deep voice. I don't know. But I can't. Now everybody... Because then it would be a gimmick. I can't do it now.
Yeah,
it's over.
Like
you killed it for me, man.
10 years.
Yes.
When
maybe they'll
be like
when my voice will be like this.
Yeah. When there was enough booze, you know.
Yeah, probably enough booze does the trick every time. Yeah.
You studied film. You still do something on that, or can we expect a feature film in the future?
We're touring all around the world, and we're trying to record, you know, in the small few, you know, windows of opportunity that we have. We try to go into the studio, and we try to have a bit of personal life. So I don't really have time to go into it, but I think about screenplay writing. I think about the whole visual thing. Yeah, I think about, you know, the start, the changing point, that, you know, what you learn in screenplay, and I think it has some effect. And now, you know, we're thinking about our next project we wanted to do. It's just, you know, it's just a thought yet, but we're thinking of doing, you know, this kind of animation, almost Yellow Submarine-ish kind of project.
A band member missed out on a gig because he was on duty in Gaza. Is that a true story?
What I can say that in our band, it's kind of weird because in an ironic, or maybe not an ironic, maybe it's because we're artists and musicians, we don't do military service, and you know, most of us never even did. Some members did, some members didn't. Some members get called for recruitment, some people don't. But because we're musicians, I think it's a very...
It's easier now. I can call and tell them, listen, I'm touring for the next year, and they go like,
I'm in Austria right now.
Bye. You know, they don't really need you there.
It looks so much different on the news. It really does, yeah. And you see that everywhere we go. You know, when I was playing New York, I met this girl from Iran, and we kind of got to be friends. And she would tell me all these stories, and I would go, oh my God, that's so not what you see on the news. And you know, like being from Israel, she's telling. And then you realize what people might think of Israel, because all they see is whatever, CNN and BBC. And, you know, it's a Western country. It really is. It has its weird kind of situations. Exactly like you said, the backliner can't make it to the show because there's a military operation in Gaza and people are getting recruited. But it's
and she's a doctor.
So and she's a doctor, yeah.
Which is good for you, too.
Yeah, yeah. And she's a doctor in the army, and she's studying to be a veterinarian. All we need her to do now is study, you know, auto mechanics. And, you know, we got everything. It's a weird situation, but you live inside it. You kind of don't realize it's weird at all. I think it's, I don't know. Only when people look at it from outside, it looks strange to us. You know, if he gets, you know, a recruitment note in the mail, it's like the most normal thing. You know, he calls his recruitment officer and says, "Listen, I can't make it this week." Whatever. And it seems normal to us.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
You're right, it's weird.
It is weird, yeah. You convinced us. 1, 2, 3, go. MULATSCHAG, the only TV show that you really need. MULATSCHAG!